feet are absolutely soaking, but I had to run up the hill. See this? So at the moment I've just got the switch in there. I've just taken the nut off of it because the bolt needs to go through the wood. So what I've got is a little piece here. I'm just going to sit in there like that. I'm going to go and cut a piece of plywood to go on the top, screw it down, burn it all before I put it in position. What I need to do is drill a hole as big as this part here so I can feed that through. So that's where the hole's going to be. I need a bigger drill bit. And then I can bolt onto the other side, so the switch will be just here. We'll just flick it like that. The tap will come out just above it, and I'm going to have to bend it in a way that it doesn't like just spray onto my hand when I'm doing the switch. I bought one of these. They're on eBay. It's just like bendable copper tube section or something. I think it's a foot, 30 centimeters, but it's just really easy to bend by hand. You don't need any special tools or anything. So that's going to be coming out here and bend over as my tap. I've got one of these. If you've got two different hoses that need to connect, you can just look up like these little plumbing connectors. So in this instance, this end is going to go onto the tap end, and then on this side I've got the same but for the hose. I think the hose end is about 12mm and then the tap end is 15mm. So that's reducing it by 3mm so that I can run the water through the pipe, which is thinner than this, and then into this. So that's the plan. I'm going to go get a piece of plywood now to cut into that shape. I'm going to drill that hole bigger, install the switch, put the ply on, screw it all into place. There we go, piece for the corner. I haven't got a router anymore, so I had to actually drill a few holes in that and then use my whittling kit to cut that out. So that the switch there could sit deeper into that and then come out enough. So I'm going to get that bolted on and in. Actually, before I do that, it's going to be a lot easier to get the hole in for the tap. So I know that I've got this corner. You can see that there's a screw there. Yeah, I've got a horrible feeling that I'm going to come out inside all of the woodwork in the back, which won't make that very accessible at all. And this is taller than this piece of wood. I can't hide that inside the bit of wood unless another piece of wood like this, a little bit higher up, and make a higher piece. Because I think the hose is going to have to feed up through a ton of woodwork, which is a nightmare. So I think what I'm going to do is drill the pilot hole, see where it comes out, and see if it's even going to work. Because I've got such a big kettle, I'm going to want to make sure I can get under it. I suspect it's going to be something like that, and I need to build this box up to accommodate this. I'm going to have to try and get the hose up through there somehow. I'm just going to put the pilot hole in. It seems that a lot of the framework's on the right hand side, there isn't any along the back there. It comes out right next to the woodwork, so that should work fine. So now I'm just going to go in with this massive one that should accommodate the hose. It's about the same size, it's the biggest drill that I've got. Don't know if you can see that. That's the hose from the pump. So this wee plastic ring that came with the adapter goes over the hose. That end goes onto the hose. And then that little clip should just clip on. And then that drops in like that. I'm going to have to drill another hole. This needs to be in the middle. It's going to look weird coming out there. I finished this tap. So in the end I just built an extension that went a little bit higher up and then fed the tap down into that adapter, and it just pushes in and then can't pull up. There's a little clip on it that if you push down on both sides and pull the tap up, you can pull it out again. So I can remove this. At the moment this isn't screwed down, nor is that glued down. It just sat in place, but it all works. Not bad at all. Really glad I used one of these sprung switches because it uses so much less water just quickly filling up and letting go. So I'm still to finish up behind and make this look nicer. Not 100% on what I'm going to do yet, but just so you know, it's not going to be left like that. It's about 7:30 right now, and I'm going to try and build the frame for the cupboards that are going to go up there. I want it to come down and hide all of this, and I want it to come to the edge of this. It's going to be close to the top of the spice rack, so I'm going to have to pay attention to what I store in these spaces here, but it's going to come out not that far, because that's like my main worktop area. I really don't want it protruding into my face. So I think I'm working with about 12 centimeters, which is tiny really, but you'll be surprised how much you'll hold in that space. 12 centimeters will be my inner dimension. At the moment, I'm just going to go and find out what wood is going to be long enough to do that. I'm going to build it in the exact same way as this. So you probably just get a lot of time lapses and stuff. I don't need to show you how to make a cupboard again, but it will be different. It's not going to be slatted on the bottom. It'll be plywood on the bottom because it needs to be nice and strong. But yeah, same method, which I can't remember. I might have to look back for my own footage to find out how I build a cupboard, which is hilarious, considering there's one right there. As if I have to figure this out again. But yeah, I'm going to time lapse it because it's going to be very similar. But yeah, actually getting close to the end of the build, sort of. You'll be surprised how long the little niggly bits at the end take, but it's still exciting to have it almost in the condition where I can move in, because I've been in the house now for 3 nights, I think. And yeah, I miss living in a van. Keen to get moved in. So anyway, I'm going to get stuck in to building the cabinet. Here's a montage for you, and yeah, probably only get the frame done today. Good morning, guys. Ooh, it's freezing. It's really cold. I actually need to get a thermometer so I can figure out how warm it is in here. So I've got the fire on. I need to do some dishes and then I'm going to get stuck in. First mission is going to be finishing this up. I really need to get the cupboard finished up so that I can get some stuff in there. And then insulating these back doors and that side door. Really need some insulation because they'll be letting out an awful lot of heat in the night. Thursday's going to be -6 at night, so I'm not prepared for that. I've also decided to get a diesel heater. I wasn't going to do a diesel heater. I was going to see how I got on with just the log burner, and that's enough of an experiment for me. It's been a few weeks and it is bloody freezing, so I needed a diesel heater. I need something to take the edge off in the morning so that I can make the fire. I've also noticed a lot of condensation gathering under the bed. There's like 2 metal beams at the side. So when I get the diesel heater, I'm probably going to have it so that one of the vents comes into the van and one of them goes underneath the bed. So yeah, kettle's just about to boil, and then I'm going to make a cup of tea, get the dishes done, and then crack on with that cabinet. Okay, so far the front of this is all I've got. There's no supports going here or anything, but I have left these super long screws to drill into what will be the support on the bottom. So I need to cut a piece that goes across the bottom there, a piece that goes across the bottom there, probably one for the middle as well. Then it's going to need an end piece on both ends, a bit of plywood or slats depending on what I've got available along the bottom. And then once I've done that, it'll be a case of putting 3 doors on the front. Not 100% how I'm going to do them yet, they might be wood. So yeah, I'm going to quickly cut out a few bits of wood, get it all screwed in, and then I should be able to put stuff in it pretty soon after. Like I say, I'm not going to tutorial this, I've just told you roughly what I'm going to do, but because I've already done one, it's very much the same. Okay, so I've decided to insulate the doors before I do the cupboard that's all the way in there. I can do the cupboard when it's dark, whereas these doors won't be as easy. The steps are going to be sanding and painting. Because the van's going to be green, I'm going to want to paint this green as well. It's going to be a lot easier to do now rather than cutting into the carpet. I'm going to get the wooden panels off, see what's underneath, and then sand. I'm not going to paint the whole door because it's going to be covering carpet, but I need to paint the edges along here and stuff. I mean, to be fair, I'll probably get the carpet right in there. They're completely different doors to my old van. This line here is actually the rubber seal, which I can't bring the carpet over, so this is a prime example of where I need to paint between this curve here and this line, because the carpet's probably going to end here, so I need to paint that green or black. I'll probably go black, even though the van's going to be green. I think I'll use the black. So I'm going to sand that back, paint these inside bits with black vehicle paint, then insulate inside here if it isn't already, then insulate in here. So sand it all around the edges where I'm going to paint, and I've washed it all down. Now I'm just going to take bubble wrap and cut it and just keep layering it up, filling these spaces, just do a little bit of spray glue between each layer to hold it together. Bubble wrap's not the best insulation, but I've been slowly collecting it while I've been ordering all the stuff, so I'd rather use what I already have than buy something else. As you can see with most of the van, it's recycled and upcycled and reclaimed, and I want to keep doing that. So even though it's not the best insulation, I have it and it means using it for something else, so I'm just going to fill all these gaps in with it, and then it'll be a case of covering it all with Reflectex, which is this big sheet of basically foil bubble wrap. It's going to complete the moisture barrier and stop condensation from forming around all these edges. insulated and foiled up. It's time to get carpet in. You can see here, that's where the seam meets. So I've avoided that because the carpet's going to have to come up pretty close to it, but not onto it, because then it won't make a very good seal. So you need to make sure the metal's still exposed, hence why I painted it. So yeah, with the carpet it's really simple. You just cut a giant rectangle that's going to cover it all. Put a load of spray glue on the top edge is probably the best bet. Give yourself a bit of excess at the top, stick it down, and then lift the carpet up and just work your way down, spraying, rolling the carpet down. That's pretty simple. It's just a case of trimming around the edges and then sticking it down. 2 carpeted doors. Job's done. You can see a bit of silver tape along there. It's because the tape was kind of close to where the rubber seals are. The rubber seal will seal completely fine against tape and paint and stuff like that, but carpet not so much. So that's why there's a little bit of that exposed, because I'd rather have the carpet shy than have it getting in the way of the rubber seals. So what I'll have to do is paint again, which I knew I was going to have to do anyway. There's spray glue all over the place. I hate this stuff. But I'll be painting black around all the silver bits. There's not loads, but there's a bit. And that'll neaten it up a lot. Home edging's not too bad. I've done better, but I've also done worse. So yeah, that's that done. I'm not going to close them yet because there's, like, I got spray glue everywhere. It's such hard stuff to work with because the nozzle seals over with the glue because it dries so quick. And then the next time you spray it, it just goes all over the bloody place. Like completely wrong angle, like spraying at the side of the can and stuff. So you do what you can. I'm going to let that dry before closing it, otherwise it'll seal to the rubber seals. But that should mean I'm not getting condensation on the doors anymore. And it means I can put cushions against that when I'm in bed and lean against them, which is brilliant. I'd like to crack on with that cupboard in the kitchen, but I'm going to have to go get firewood. The weather forecast is really cold for the next 2 or 3 days. And I'm working for 2 days, which means I'll be stuck in the van. And haven't really got the time to go and collect wood and process wood and stuff, so I'm gonna go and get a load of wood from the forest and call it a night, and then a couple days work, and then I'll get that cupboard finished. I've also ordered a load of stuff, including a diesel heater, so it'll be good for a load of that stuff to arrive and start installing the last of it all. We're getting there, getting close.